everyone was on. So I was like, okay, I guess that's what I got to do.
How many of you, maybe by show of hands or a quick story, have had sort of unwanted advances or things that you were
The first meeting was out to dinner and drinks that automatically greenlit them to be extremely flirtatious to the point where they were like saying sexual things to me. And I mean, the minute that I was in my car, it was like block, delete.
Yeah, just like the normal, like people coming right out of the gate after you match with them being.
So join us, Afternoons,
for everything you need to know. I love that.
So right now, this is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yeah. So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live? What would you do? Hey, I guess I just found out.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital, destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news. Anytime, anywhere. Streaming 24/7, straight to you for free.
Thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make any sense. 4 students stabbed to death in their beds while 2 roommates were home.
You gotta think.
This is the story of savage murders, a determined small-town police force, and a skull episode wherever you get your podcasts.
With so much at stake news, World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Reporting from Manhattan, I'm Diane Macedo. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. How much money would it take to make you feel rich? Bloomberg set out in search of answers, and we have their findings by the numbers. The survey asked more than 1,000 Americans who earned at least $175,000 a year whether they felt poor but getting by, comfortable, or very rich. A full 25% of the top 10% of the U.S. tax bracket describe themselves as poor but getting by, while about 1/5 they feel just comfortable despite having good jobs, owning their own homes, and having savings for retirement. Perhaps most surprising, about 5% of those with a net worth of $1 to $5 million said they were just comfortable, and some even consider themselves poor. A solid 25% surveyed said they worry about the rising cost of living and don't think they'll be better off financially than their parents. So whether people are trying to match the lavish lifestyles we see on social media or feeling anxious about the growing class of ultra wealthy, it seems that for many, enough may never. Behind the scenes conversation with music superstar Carol G as she takes the stage for her new tour. And we highlight the strength and spirit of the people of Maui, especially children, 1 month after the devastating wildfires broke out. But first, here's a look at our top trending stories on ABC.
First thing in the morning.
There's a lot going on.
Everybody in that home is okay.
To catch you up with what happened overnight. We are here at fashion's biggest night out.
Fast, straightforward.
With some fun. America This Morning.
America's #1 early morning news.
On ABC News Live.
This is ABC News Live.
The crush of families here in Poland.
At refugee centers.
In Putin's Russia.
On the ground in Ukraine.
Close to the front line.
From the capital, destructive Cat 4 storm.
You're along I-5.
Boston is in the bullseye.
Let's go.
ABC News Live, America's #1 streaming news.
America's #1 streaming news.
When I got sent to Idaho to cover the murders of 4 college students, it was a story that didn't make...
How many people would a man go through to get to his...
...town police force and a scholar of crime. This is The King Road Killings. The full series is out now. Listen to every episode wherever you get podcasts.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
Wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Getting you behind the stories as they happen. ABC News Live Prime. We'll take you there.
Streaming free on ABC News Live. You're watching America's #1 streaming news. Live reporting, breaking new exclusives. Keep streaming with ABC News Live.
83-year-old family says he died, and American Coco Gauff advances to the U.S. Open tennis final after a chaotic match. Those stories and more in tonight's rundown.
Nancy Pelosi announced she's running for re-election in 2024.
Pelosi first announced her intentions to run again with volunteers at a fundraiser in San Francisco Friday, before spreading the news via tweet. Pelosi was the first woman elected Speaker of the House and has repped her California district for more than 35 years. And the 83-year-old makes her bid as Washington faces continued criticism of the age of leadership, both on Capitol Hill and in the White House.
It was marketed by the Paqui brand as the One Chip Challenge, selling a single chip promoted as being seasoned with the world's spiciest chili peppers inside of a coffin-shaped package. Now the company's pulling the product after a Massachusetts 14-year-old died after eating one at school. While authorities say it remains unclear if or how the food may have contributed to his death, the chip's maker, Amplify Snack Brands, pulling the One Chip Challenge from shelves, saying it was never meant for children or anyone sensitive to spicy foods, or has food allergies, is pregnant, or has underlying health conditions.
Arrested in Oklahoma on charge of speeding. The singer posted an explanation on Instagram telling fans that emotions got the best of me and I was out of line in the things I said.
A town in Virginia has agreed to a settlement that includes more training for officers after police pepper sprayed an Army lieutenant in 2020. Lieutenant Caron Nazario was at a gas station when officers stopped him. Video shows officers drawing their guns on Lieutenant Nazario, who was in military uniform at the time. They then pepper sprayed and knocked him to the ground before releasing him. Nazario later sued the officers for
Gauff, who overcame not just second set. It lasted nearly an hour, caused by climate protesters in the far reaches of the stands. One even gluing his feet to the stadium floor. Gauff seemingly unfazed by the commotion.
I feel like something's going to happen this weekend because they did it at French Open, they did it at Wimbledon.
Gauff is the first American teenager to reach the U.S. Open finals since Serena Williams in 1999.
All right, let's talk some Karol G. Colombian music star Karol G proved what a powerhouse this year. Now, as she embarks on her Mañana Será Bonito tour to discuss what this all really means to her.
You've won so many awards, tantos premios. You've won 2 Latin Grammys. You've been at the top of the Billboard charts. You've sold out shows. I did it. This is it. This is what I worked so hard for. And when was that moment?
Yo creo que esto.
This right here.
Sí, no creo que es el tope de mi carrera y espero que no sea el tope de mi carrera. Quiero llegar muy lejos, pero creo que el amor es real. Uf, yo puedo sentirlo. Y aquí es donde yo puedo decir, ok, lo logré. No creo que es una moda, no creo que es un momento. Creo que es una conexión real con toda la gente que viene acá. Ahí puedo decir que, ok, I made it.
Imparable.
Uy, no, es... De verdad que esas personas creen que ellos vienen y pagan un ticket y yo estoy aquí súper feliz porque están pagando un ticket y estoy haciendo un show, pero eso es parte del negocio, eso es mi negocio, pero ellos no son mi negocio, o sea, esto es... No, yo no sé cómo explicar.
Of thousands of people, about 60,000 people, you could feel the love. It was incredible. For more of my conversation and the behind the scenes access that we received here at ABC with Karol G on her Mañana, you do not want to miss it. Trust me. All right, across the country, it's that time of year again, right? Kids are going back to the classroom and students are seeing their friends in the hallways once again. It's tore through homes and neighborhoods, killing of Lahaina. From the ashes rises hope, thanks to the resiliency of its children. Tonight, ABC News launches our Maui 808 initiative. On every 8th of the month, we will focus on telling the stories about the strength and spirit of the people of Hawaii. Our first story comes from 8 children there find joy during a time of grief and healing.
The start of the school year in Lahaina could have been like any other. But instead, and for Lahaina,
getting ready to go to school.
I think the wind was strong and one of the power lines fell down and it started a spark.
We saw smoke covering the Sky Island back.
Aloha. We'd all take care of each other and we'd help each other.
Homes destroyed, a totally different and new daily routine.
I just got out of kindergarten. And I didn't even get a chance to take one day in first.
Along with his home.
We're going after this.
Fire was over, but life was not the same yet. Sometimes Sam would wake up scared.
Sarah managed to get him into a new technical school through a lottery. The makeshift school, not even set up yet. But Miles is one of the lucky ones.
They need resources. They need staff. They need a larger location. We're thinking short term.
Nearly 15.
Some kids don't even have a home.
In other public schools.
Happier now because we're all together.
Today, all 27.
You only have one bathroom. 27 people. If you want to go to the bathroom at 7, you got to be there at 6.
On weekends,
there's like 9.
Just my friends.
3 different schools across the island.
I got to be tough. Because if I'm gonna be weak, then my kids are gonna be weak too, so. Yeah, every day.
His son. 3 of the 4 schools damaged in the Lahaina fire may reopen in mid-October, pending environmental tests, which will create even more questions for parents.
When school opens up, I don't know what's gonna happen because we might get kicked out at my working place because they're only allowing us to stay over there until October 31st, I think. After that, we don't know what's going to happen to us.
One school trying to provide normalcy for their students, Sacred Hearts. Destroyed by the flames, I was a student here, 2nd grade, and even starting my first communion class.
They've seen their home burnt down. Their friends have moved away. Life has changed instantly for these children overnight. And, and now that they're with families living in hotels or wherever they're able to take them in for just a short amount of time and moving, it's like living.
School in a church just north of Lahaina. More than half of her 220 students are new to Sacred Hearts. Their public schools damaged in the fire. 180 more on the.
And because they are the future and our hope for our rebuilding and healing, this is the best we could do for now until we secure a new school here.
Her goal is to provide stable learning for the keiki, now the last generation of what was once Lahaina.
Lahaina Town was their playground. Lahaina Town and Sacred Heart School, and help in the rebuilding and the sharing of our story.
At a Hawaiian language preschool on Maui, the children suggest helping. And now for the keiki all around the island.
amid a severe thunderstorm alert. D.C., Philly, New York, and Boston, more than 50 million Americans in the threat zone. This satellite image of Hurricane Lee churning in the Atlantic, expected to maintain its intensity over the next few days. Overnight, hurricane hunters flying into this storm. Their video there capturing shots of lightning flashes. At this hour, there you see the spaghetti models of its possible path, turning north, then going parallel up the East Coast. Rough surf and rip currents from Florida to Maine expected all next week. Meantime, severe storms are moving up the Northeast. Large hail in Hillsdale, New Jersey, outside New York City. And north of Boston, heavy rain confronting drivers there on I-93. More than 50,000 customers without power in Massachusetts alone. More than 800 flight cancellations and many delays, especially across the Northeast. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is tracking it all, and he leads us off. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Mary. Well, Lee, a very dangerous hurricane, hit a few bumps in the road today, as you'll see here on the satellite picture, but we don't expect it to weaken much more. The eye that was so prevalent yesterday is cloud coverage, a little bit of shear kind of tearing it apart, but a lot of warm water ahead of it. And the track, well, it's still on track. I expect it to miss the Caribbean and be somewhere between Puerto Rico, but that's when it loses its steering currents, and we expect it to drift north. Hopefully that trough in the east keeps it off the East Coast, and that's what most of our computer models do, but that could very well change, and the surf will get rough beginning Sunday here in the U.S. It's been rough all day across the Northeast with severe thunderstorms. You mentioned New Jersey. They had lightning lighting up homes there, flash flooding there, and across the Hudson Valley. Look at Western Connecticut and these watch boxes all the way up into Maine. This front really kind of stalls out, so we'll look for more storms to bubble up tomorrow with more up through the weekend as we anxiously look towards the Atlantic. And
the newly released police body camera video of a deadly traffic stop in Philadelphia last month. The officer said he fired because the driver lunged at him with a knife, but that is not what the body camera video shows. The driver never got out of his car. The officer is now charged with murder and other crimes. ABC's Chief Justice.
Stunning new video tells a polar opposite story.
Jury pool. Other defendants in the case, including Trump, may be thinking the same, and tonight's ruling, Mary, may be a bad sign for them. Mary?
A clear message to Trump and the other defendants. Aaron, thank you. Now to the new development in the hunt for that escaped killer in Pennsylvania. The corrections officer in the guard tower when the fugitive made that stunning escape up a wall has now been fired. But tonight, more than a week after he got away, he is still on the run. Here's ABC's Trevor Alt.
Tonight, that observation tower prison guard, who officials say failed to see convicted killer Danilo Cavalcante's daring escape, has now been fired. Chester County officials say the unnamed officer was an 18-year veteran at the prison. Was underway.
We're certainly going to look at what the actions.
Week, more than 350 officers combing through overpass after a possible sighting, guns ready.
I don't think people realize what it takes to support an operation like this.
Authorities for the first time today allowing access to the Search Command Center, unveiling detailed perimeter maps centered on botanical site Longwood Gardens, where Cavalcante was last seen.
What I'm thinking is he's somewhere in.
Food for the search teams.
I think they're doing everything they can. I can't drive anywhere without seeing a cop car, which makes me feel safe.
Still, she says her kids are anxious. Some parents are fearful of leaving their children at the school bus stop.
We are all very frustrated, and we just want to see an end to this.
But tonight we've learned Cavalcante hid in the jungle, eventually fleeing to the U.S.
Stranger hardship.
And Mary, those officers with long guns are still lined up here behind these vehicles. And tonight, the Chester County District Attorney says that Observation Tower guard was terminated yesterday afternoon, but the